Hello, Belites. I'm so happy to see you here again. Welcome back to our channel, and thank you so much for the love on our previous story. Still on telling fictional stories, the story in our list today sounds so fascinating. This story has to do with a Nigerian lady and a handsome Korean man. She is a janitor. Fell for him against all orders, believed him, and fell for his future promises with her, but suddenly he left, not just leaving her alone, but with a chaotic situation and a seed. The title is of the story is He Made Me Fell and Then Left. Ready to watch and listen to this amazing story. Let's begin. I used to think love was a distant thing, something for people who had clean shoes and polished nails, the kind of people who sat in air-conditioned offices and had scented hand lotions in their bags. Not for girls like me. Girls with calloused fingers, who swept marble floors while the world ignored them. But all that changed the day he walked in. That Monday started like every other room, humid and noisy with the chatter of city buses and impatient horns. It arrived at the company by 5:30 a.m. Dragging my bucket and mop into the grand lobby, the one that always made me feel small. The tiled floor gleamed in protest as I scrubbed. My uniform clung to my back, soaked in sweat, and I hummed a low tune just to silence the echo of my thoughts. I remember the exact second he walked through the glass doors. He didn't just enter the room, he moved through it, like the kind of scene that happens when the music slows down in a film. He had raven black hair, neatly combed, and eyes so sharp they looked like they'd sliced through silence itself. His suit was tailored, his skin pale but radiant, and there was something in the way he looked around, curious, thoughtful, lost but confident. He did notice me at first. Most people did. To them, I was just a shadow with a mop. But a few days later, he did. Oh, he did. His name was Jun-ho. A short break. Before we continue, please leave a comment, comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be a part of our community. Now let's continue. He had been sent from Korea as part of the international acquisition team that recently bought our small Nigerian company. Everyone talked about him. Some feared him, some admired him. But I saw something else. Something soft in his eyes. Learn Linus, maybe. Or perhaps I only imagined it because I knew what it felt like. He was the only one who ever greeted me. "Good morning," he said one day, his accent soft but clear, surprising me so much I spilled the water I was carrying. He apologized, helped me pick up the cloths, and even smiled. That smile became a drug. From then on, he started waiting by the reception desk just to say hi. Sometimes he offered me breakfast, a muffin, or an energy bar. He'd watch me clean, ask about my day, my favorite music. I felt seen, really seen, for the first time in years. I told him about my past, how it dropped out of university when my father died, how my mother left, how I'd been working as a janitor since I was 19. He listened, never judging. He said I was strong, brave, beautiful, and just like that, my heart became his. We did have fancy dates. We'd sit behind the building on my lunch break, eating puff-puff and bottled water while he shared stories of soul. Sometimes he'd show me photos on his phone, his parents, his old cat, city lights he'd only seen in dramas. He promised to take me there someday. He held my hand one night when it rained heavily and I was stuck at work. We stood under the small iron shed behind the building, soaked but laughing, and then he kissed me. His lips were gentle, almost afraid, like he was asking permission to be mine. That was the night I gave him everything. It was just my body. I gave him the last of my trust. He made me feel worthy, desirable, even royal in my rags. And I started to believe it. When other cleaners teased me, saying I was just a fling, he defended me. He bought me a red dress for my birthday, said I looked like a queen. I wore it to our secret picnic, and he stared at me like I was magic. For the first time in my life, I felt like I mattered. And then it all began to crumble. The company buzzed with whispers. Funds are missing. The Korean man is being investigated. I heard these things in the hallway, broom in hand, my heart growing heavier with each passing day. I asked him. He smiled calm. It's nothing serious, just routine questions. Bureaucracy. But he looked tired, worried. He stopped smiling as often. One evening, he held me tighter than usual and asked, "Do you trust me, Edith?" "Yes," I whispered without a pause. Foolishly, "I need a favor, just something small." That's how it began. He said the EFCC wanted to question him, but there was a misunderstanding. They just need someone to answer some basic questions. My name has too much at stake. If you could just speak to them, explain that you authorized the software expenses. I'll come get you after. I promise. He told me he was buying a ring, that he wanted to marry me. I believed him. And so, the next morning, I went. I entered the sterile white office, heart pounding. The questions came quickly, confusing, fast, endless. I tried to explain, but they didn't believe me. I was a staff member authorized to make such financial decisions. My name wasn't even supposed to be on the records. Then they showed me papers documents with my signature, but I hadn't signed anything. My stomach dropped. I realized it too late. I had been used. I asked where Jun-ho was. They stared at me, cold. "He left the country this morning," one officer said flatly. The air left my lungs. The cold iron bars clanged shut behind me. Prison is a place that smells like forgotten stories. Each wall holds secret sobs that have dried into silence. And there I was, in a yellowed uniform, without family, without friends, and carrying the weight of a lie I didn't understand. My only visitor was Mary, one of the junior clerks. She brought me biscuits and tears. She also brought the final blow. He denied knowing you, Adiz. He showed everyone his wedding invitation, his marrying someone else. In Korea, it's all over social media. I don't remember if I screamed or if I just sank. Maybe both. All I remember was the feeling of being emptied, like my soul had been scooped out. I didn't eat for days. Then came the sickness. I thought it was food poisoning. The nausea would stop. The doctor came. A simple test later. She looked at me with a strange softness in her eyes. "You're pregnant." The world stopped spinning. Pregnant? In prison? Alone? I don't even remember the moment clearly. Everything became muffled, like I was underwater, fighting to breathe. The child was his. Of course, it was. And now, the child would never know the man who had destroyed me, the man I had loved blindly. But I refused to die in there. I started writing letters to NGOs, women's groups, journalists. I poured my story into pages with trembling fingers. I didn't know if anyone would read them, but I refused to let my child grow in shame. And one day, a response came. A lawyer, a young woman with fire in her eyes and truth on her tongue. She believed me. She said there was a pattern, other cases tied to foreign nationals vanishing after embezzlement. She promised to fight, and suddenly I felt hope. Not because I thought it'd be free instantly, but because someone believed me, just like I had once believed in him. Here is a short preview of the next upcoming episode. But just as I was starting to breathe again, as I clutched my small belly and imagined the future it built from ashes, a prison guard called my name. "There's someone here to see you." I walked to the visitation room, heart-thudding, and there he was. Not Jun-ho, but his wife, and she was holding something, documents. "Photos. Let's talk," she said, her voice like ice. "You're not the only one he destroyed." And I knew this story was over. Thank you, Beelites, for sticking with us in this story. This story is just beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. I hope to see you again next week. Till then, please comment your thoughts, share to loved ones, like, and also subscribe to our channel so you don't miss spicy stories in future. Thank you very much and bye-bye.